In today's video, we're going to be going over everything you need to know about the shirt factory in Farming and Friends. So we're going to be going over how to unlock it, how good shirts actually are, and how many coins you can make using the shirt factory to make shirts. So the first thing let's go over is how to actually unlock the factory. Now, if you go to the top of the screen and you click the farm tab, in the middle you will see whatever goal you have selected. And if you don't have one selected, click this here, press change goal, and this is where you can view all the different licenses and upgrades you can unlock by completing tasks. Now, before you can unlock the shirt factory, you do need to have sheep unlocked, because if you don't even have sheep, how are you going to make shirts? So once you have sheep unlocked, you can go ahead and select the shirt factory license and begin completing tasks to unlock it. Now, to complete the shirt factory license, you need to earn 14,400 XP, and that might seem like a lot. However, you can earn up to 1,200 XP every 2 hours, because that's how long it takes for the tasks to refresh. Now, you can also spend Robux to speed that up. There's options to refresh the tasks, automatically complete them. However, if you don't have any Robux, that's okay, because you can still complete and earn this factory in about 10 to 12 hours. Now, a lot of the tasks are pretty simple. They include shearing sheep, they include making wool bundles using the spindle, and if you don't know how to do that, I'll show that in just a moment. And then there's also tasks to actually sell some wool bundles, and then there is one task that you will typically get that has a little bit of variety. That might include cleaning a chicken coop, cleaning a barn stall, or milking cows, or selling eggs. That one's a bit variable, but 3 of the tasks are usually related to shearing sheep, the wool bundles, and selling the wool bundles. So let's go ahead and build the shirt factory. Now that we have it unlocked, if we scroll over to the shirt factory in the build menu, we can go ahead and see that it costs 70,000 coins to build. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to plop it down so we can, let's just plop it like this. How about this? Well, we can move it later. We're going to plop it down right here, and here is what the building looks like. So now that we have the factory unlocked, let's go ahead and take a look around it. So this is where you go ahead and put the wool bundles, and that's where it gets input into the factory. And then there's also a few little cool animations that will play once we get the factory up and running. We have a massive vat of water. We also have this machine here, a little sewing machine here. And finally, this is where the shirts end up, get packaged into a box and put on a pallet. And then the pallet will actually end up over here where we can go ahead and load it onto a flatbed with a forklift. And now that we have the factory unlocked, let's go over how to actually use it, starting with the sheep. So in Farming and Friends, you can own up to 32 animals per layout. And I mean layout because if you go into the build menu, you can actually select different layouts where you have different setups, different farm layouts essentially, and you can have 32 animals on each one, unless you actually go ahead and purchase the Max Animals Game Pass, which increases that to 52 animals. And I do recommend creating a separate slot for your sheep, that way you can have the most possible sheep in a given layout. And because I don't have any other animals on this slot, I literally only have 32 sheep and a shirt factory. That means I'm going to be making the most wool possible. And quickly going over how to get sheep, you probably know by now, but in case you don't, that's okay. You want to go over to the Animal Co store with an animal trailer and purchase 1 sheep. And 1 sheep is 3,000 coins, so it's not terribly expensive. But once you do bring them back to your farm, you need to make sure they have an enclosed pen, along with some feeders that you can put animal feed into. You don't need this fancy automatic feeder here. You can just put the boxes directly into the feeders. So once you have sheep and they are happy because they have enough space, they will begin to produce wool. And once you get that wool, you will actually need a spindle to convert that wool into wool bundles. Also, this one says he's unhappy. I don't know why. He's at 100%, so don't listen to him. And the best way I figured out to shear sheep is this fun little tactic I like to do. So if you go ahead and herd all of your sheep into an enclosed pen, like a very small one, you can actually shear them a lot easier, especially if you have such a large field like this where they are literally everywhere. So now I have all 32 sheep unlocked, and I have this tiny pen here, and we're going to keep them temporarily, not too long, or else they will get unhappy. And as you can see, they are all going to walk over here. Some of them don't like to listen, so we gotta herd them manually again. But it looks like everyone is walking over here into the pen, and as you can see, they are unhappy because it is an enclosed area. They'd like to have some space, but we'll let them out in just a moment. Now we can also close the gate, so once they walk inside, they can't leave. I don't know if they're ever going to fix that, but the sheep will continue to walk through the gate and into this enclosure. And now once you have all the sheep in here, you want to go ahead and just spam V on your keyboard, or if you're on mobile, I don't know how that works. I've never played mobile. And this will allow you to shear all of your sheep extremely quickly like this. And it takes like what, 10, 15 seconds to shear all of your sheep, and there we go. We now have a massive pile of wool. And what we're going to do is, I mean, we can let the sheep out, we can herd them out, or we can just sell this. That little enclosure, and the sheep will be released and they can go on to their main pen once again. Now, once we have this massive pile of wool, what do we do with it? And that is where the spindle comes in. So if we go over to the animal care tab of the build menu, you will find the spindle machine for 5,000 coins. And the spindle machine will process 3 pieces of wool into 1 bundle. Now, I don't think it's really necessary to have more than 1 spindle machine unless you want to have them spread out throughout your farm, because it's really easy just to deposit your wool inside of here and it will automatically produce the wool bundles. So with our 32 wool, that's going to go ahead and produce 10 wool bundles that we can directly deposit into the shirt factory. And you'll also notice that I have a ton of wool on this trailer, and that's because we are going to be putting all of this into the factory as well at some point. Now, as the spindle starts to produce wool, let's go ahead and begin depositing it into the factory so we can actually see how it works. So I probably look like a giant marshmallow. That's because I'm carrying 2 wool bundles, and that's the most you can carry in one load. So we're going to go ahead, we're just going to deposit 2 in here. They automatically disappear. It gets deposited into the vat. We're just going to watch this process because this is actually my first time seeing it. We're going to have the bundle goes through there. That's the second bundle starting in there. And it's going to go pick it up and deposit it here. Very nice. Okay, and then the sewing machine turns on and it starts making them into a shirt. And now we have 4 shirts on here that pop into 2 boxes that go on the pallet. Awesome. And it also does produce different colors like those over there. I think that's at random. And now we have 4 boxes on the pallet. And one other thing is there is also a truck you can purchase at the vehicle store called the Insole 2400. It looks like this. It's a pretty cool looking truck, and this actually allows you to transport wool, and it's specifically made for transporting the wool bundles. So we're going to purchase it for 42,000 coins really quickly, and we're going to walk outside and take a look at it. And additionally, in the shop, there is a limited time. Oh, it's gone. There's a I don't want to buy it. There's a limited time pack you can buy that comes with the truck, and the truck can actually hold 16 wool bundles. That's the same truck I'm driving right now. And the pack also comes with a level 3 animal trailer. So let's go ahead and test this truck out really quickly because it does have one cool feature. So here we have 7 wool bundles. We can go ahead, quickly grab them, pop them into the truck, and look at that. Wow, so once you have some wool in the truck bed, you can actually go ahead and drive it over here where you can automatically deposit it. Now, I don't know if this is something that works with other vehicles, but I think it might be something unique to the Insole truck here, which will automatically deposit it into the factory to go ahead and make more shirts. So now that we have plenty of wool, let's go ahead and start ramping up production in the factory. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just deposit a lot of wool into here to see how much we can produce. So after we go ahead and put all of this wool into the factory, we're going to go ahead and figure out how good shirts actually are. And we're going to go dive into all the statistics to see how much money you can make per hour with this factory. And yeah, just basically lots of numbers after we go ahead and produce all of the shirts. So this is the last of the wool from our flatbed. The sheep are actually ready to be sheared again, but we're not going to do that yet because we actually have to sell the shirts we just made and figure out how much money we can actually make from selling shirts. Now, I don't think this pallet is going to be completed by the time this last bundle rolls on through, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to leave it there, and we're going to take a look over here. So we have 1, 2, and 3 pallets that we can go ahead and take to the store. Luckily, we already have our flatbed here, so we can just hop into here, but the one thing we do need is a forklift. So now that we have our forklift, we can go ahead and pick up the pallets and load them onto our flatbed to be sold. And this here is the third and final pallet, so let's go ahead, hop out of our forklift, and take them down to Animal Co. where we can go ahead and sell them. So taking a look at the price board here, as we can see, if we scroll down, shirts right now are about 7,500 a box. Okay, so from 3 pallets, we're going to be making 641,000 coins. Now, this does include the 5% coin bonus from being in their Roblox group, which I highly recommend everyone does because it's so easy to join and it does give you some extra coins. So now that we know how shirt making works and how much shirts actually sell for, let's go over the numbers to figure out if shirts are actually worth it. So these numbers might change if the developers update the shirt factory, if they nerf them, if they buff shirts, I don't know. But these are the numbers as of making this video. So the max number of sheep you can have is 32 sheep. And now it takes a sheep 10 minutes to go ahead and regenerate all of its wool. So with 32 sheep making 1 wool every 10 minutes, that will produce 192 wool per hour. Now, it is possible to upgrade sheep efficiency, but I don't have that unlocked and I don't know the statistics behind that, so I'm not going to be including that in these numbers. So each bundle requires 3 wool, and that means you can produce 2 shirt boxes per bundle. And you have 27 boxes per pallet, so that means 1 pallet of shirts requires 13.5 wool bundles, aka 40.5 wool. Now that does seem like a lot, and you are only able to produce about, it's technically the number is 4.74 pallets per hour. Now that doesn't seem like very much, and the largest thing holding you back from making more pallets is just how quickly sheep are able to regenerate their wool, which is why if you have the Max Animals Game Pass, you have more sheep, it would be extremely helpful. Maybe I'll have the numbers on the screen if you happen to have that Game Pass, which increases the number of sheep you can have up to 52. So assuming an average price per box of 8,000 coins, you can also adjust that too. It's very simple multiplication. And because each pallet has 27 boxes, you can make 4.74 pallets per hour. This means you can make up to a profit of 1,024,000 coins. So, I mean, that doesn't factor in the expenses like sheep food and things like that. And it doesn't also factor in how long it takes to produce a shirt. But I think that's really irrelevant because it's not going to be holding you back is how long it takes to produce a shirt. What will be holding you back is how long it takes to shear all your sheep and have their wool regenerate. So, yeah, that's why I didn't include the numbers about how long it takes to make a shirt. But basically, it takes 25-30 seconds to complete a full cycle in here. And every 7 seconds, a new shirt is starts to be produced, if that makes any sense. So my question to you is, do you think, given those numbers, given the fact that you can make over 1 million coins per hour selling shirts, do you think it's worth it? And I think that's extremely valuable. And what also interested me is how much it would actually cost to build this setup. So I just threw some random numbers together. Basically, for the pallets, you need a forklift and a flatbed. That's about 60,000 coins, plus or minus. You also need sheep. If you need 32 sheep, that's about 100,000 coins. And then the factory is 70,000 coins. Now, there's some also smaller expenses, like the spindle, the pen, the feed, stuff like that I didn't include. And now it's raining. But it's about like 250,000 coins to actually build a setup like this. And given the fact if you just spend 1 hour selling shirts, you make 1 million coins, that sounds extremely crazy. Now, if those numbers are incorrect, please let me know. But I did the math. I timed the sheep, I timed the factory, and I did some basic multiplication, division, all sorts of stuff to get to the 1 million coins per hour, which is pretty crazy. So comment below, do you think the shirt factory is worth it? I definitely do. Now, it had me thinking about the pizza factory. The pizza factory, I don't really remember anything about it. But given the fact that shirts are this powerful, I don't even know why someone would make pizza. You can make 1 million coins per hour selling this with only 250,000 coins spent on a setup. But that is it for this video. If you want to see more helpful videos like this about farming and friends, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. I upload farming and friends videos regularly, and my goal is to make sure you know what's best, how to make money in farming and friends, and that sort of stuff. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you do have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.